welcome to SoCal Surf with Dan Nappy. Today, Huntington Beach Pier North Side. When we first got there, the sun was out and I saw some nice waves breaking all the way across the north side. And then I saw some waves breaking on the south side, but I also saw about 30 or 40 high school kids getting ready to get in the water. So we decided to go on the north side, stay away from the kids. And that was probably a wise choice, because as soon as we got in, they all piled into the south side, and it was a lot of kids. So we did pretty good. There wasn't a lot of people on the north side because it wasn't quite as good as the south side. But, you know, there's a good and bad there. The good is no, there weren't a lot of people, and you can go for any wave you wanted. You didn't have to, get pushed off because somebody else got in a better position than you. And the bad was they weren't quite as good on the north side, but I got some great waves, so I'm not going to complain. I first got there, the water is cold. Holy cow, the water's cold. And I stepped in wetsuit, every part of my body but my hands and my face are covered. And as soon as you put your hands in the water and a few drops leak up your legs, you know you're in some cold water. And so it was really cold. But the good thing, the sun was out, and it was just gorgeous. The water was blue, the sky was blue, so it was great. Paddled out right alongside the pier on the north side, so I really didn't have to duck dive at all. One wave I kind of did, but really didn't need to. And then as soon as I got out past the breakers, the current was going north, so it was pushing us north, which is unusual for wintertime, which I don't understand. I don't understand why the tides are so weird this year. It just doesn't make any sense. But nevertheless, that's what they are. So I paddled out and we drifted a little bit north, so we had to keep paddling south to stay close to the pier, and that's where the waves were breaking. And so there was 3 breaks basically way outside, which is almost to Ruby's, past the diamond, the second diamond, which is where the store and the restrooms are. And then it broke again in between the two alcoves, whatever you want to call them, the diamonds that stick out on the Huntington Beach Pier. And then there was a third break that broke closer into shore. And then there was the shore break, which you try to avoid because it gets kind of scary. So there were 4, but 3 real breaks you could ride. And so the trick was to catch out way outside and then link it to the second and then link it to the third. And so I got a really good left, and it started to break. It was already turning white, so I grabbed it anyway, and I went straight down, and then I made a nice bottom turn and gave me a lot of speed, and then I made it over to the corner, and then a real nice cutback. I mean, just turned as hard as I could, just like water skiing, just beautiful right turn. And then it went back towards the white again, and then rode it straight until it reformed a second time. And so I was able to link those, and it was just awesome. And then it got close to the shore break. I just got out of there because, not good. Shore breaking really scary because it's breaking on really shallow water, and if you don't hit it right and edge gets caught or something, you can get worked pretty bad. So you got to be real careful on the shore break. And then paddled back out, and after that long ride, of course, you got a long way to paddle. But luckily there wasn't any real big sets coming, so I was able to paddle out and not even have to get my hair wet again. So that was really good. And then I got a little right, and then I got another left. And so that went on for a while. Then it started to slow down as the waves as the tide got higher, the waves started to not break so much on the outside, the way outside. But we stayed out there, and about every 10 minutes a set would come, and we'd grab it, And sometimes I missed a couple I thought I should have. And there was one I missed, and I really gave the universal surfer's yell for missing a wave, and it came. I was a little bit in, so it was starting to turn white at the top. So I turned, and I was right on the corner. I was in perfect position to catch that wave, and I turned. But as I turned, I leaned too far forward, and my nose went right under the water. As the wave came up behind me, it picked up the tail of the surfboard and me and just drove the nose right into the water. And so I just bounced right back out the back, and I was just so mad that I missed that wave. It was a perfect left. And that haunted me for a little while. And then paddled back towards the pier again, where it was breaking more consistently. and there was only one other guy there, and he had a longboard, so he went after smaller waves. I had to wait for the bigger sets because I couldn't catch it on a small board unless it was already, starting to turn white, getting pretty steep. And so, because they were kind of a little bit mushy, and then like there was one set in the whole 2 hours that we were out that was big enough and made enough noise that I could have caught it easy, but I was too far in. Just a beautiful big set showed up, and just thundering loud claps of water slapping out of the bottom. But wasn't able to get that one, but the rest of them came in pretty good and kind of a little mushy, not real hollow. But the good thing is the second break, as it would come up, it would get hollow again. So if you could link it, it was much steeper on the second break. So that's what we were trying to do, and for the most part we were successful. And then it got the tide kept coming in. It was just getting long waits between waves. We decided that we had enough. And so my last wave was just perfect. It was big, one of the bigger ones that came from outside, and I just started to turn white at the top. So I grabbed it, and I had to get on my belly for like a second or two before I could stand up because I was flying down the whitewater. And then as I hit the bottom of the whitewater, where it turns into a little bit of a face, I stood up and I made a big bottom turn. Again, I was able to get to the corner, and then I started to fade, so I pulled back another big right turn back into the foam and waited for the second break to form. That one formed perfectly, had a beautiful shoulder. I almost got covered up, but it just wasn't quite hollow enough for that. And then made that section, and then as I started to fade again, I turned right again and got back into the foam, and then waited for it to reform a third time. Now the shore's coming up pretty fast, so I either had to get underneath this thing or go straight and avoid the crash or get out of the wave. So I caught up to the corner as it was starting to peel, and then I just jumped over the side of the back of the wave to avoid getting smashed into the sand. And so that one I rode all the way and linked all three breaks together. And then that was our last wave. So I was paddling in on the little part of the dead zone there. As I looked over my shoulder, another big wave was coming, and so I pushed the surfboard forward as far as I could, hung off the back as it broke on my back, and luckily I did just enough that the nose didn't go under and I didn't get tumbled. I just shot out of the wave into the shore. And then there's this little section right next to the sand that just drops off. I'm talking 4 feet or better. I mean, literally you could walk from outside going towards the sand, and it's like knee to maybe thigh high, and all of a sudden it just drops off to where you can't even touch. And so I was able to paddle through that, and then the waves were coming, so you have to time it because otherwise you're going to hit that other edge as you're walking out. It goes from 4 feet to like 0 and 2 feet, so it's like a big step up. And so a wave hit me, and I kind of leaned on my board a little bit to get some momentum, and as it rolled into the sand, I stood up real fast, and I got right over that hump, and I literally was in ankle deep water, from 4 feet to ankle deep water in like 2 feet, 3 feet. It's quite unique. So anyway, perfect day at Huntington, sunny. The only thing was the water's still cold, and other than that, who cares? So great surf today, good session. Tomorrow's looking good. I might have to surf alone. We have some partners, teammates here are going to be busy, so we shall see. All right, check out our sponsors, nappyclothing.com, Merch Hero, TaskBullet.com, and Swing Easy Hammocks. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.